Unmuted.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful evening last night. Pretty nice here in Wichita. We made it to the low 80s. We're starting to warm up. We're supposed to be 95 to 100 come this weekend. So, tropical depression storm Bill has made its way onshore, adding to the water woes of East Texas and moving into the southeast. We'll get some of it up here, but it looks like most of it is headed east to us. So that's important. They're not able to harvest the wheat crop yet in Kansas due to the wet ground. They still have a optimistic forecast where this year's crop will be about 25% bigger than last year's. The longer the moisture stays in the field, the lower that estimate will become. So weather-wise, more of the same for Texas and the southeast. Today's the FOMC meeting. There's really no news to speak of overnight. Most of the news out of Asia was benign. China's wondering how to increase the margin requirements without killing their stock market. That's always an interesting proposition. When you're so tied to a policy of free, cheap, easy money, borrowing, debt for spending, debt for growth, increases productivity, it's really hard to turn it off. Out of Europe, the speculation is two-sided. One, Greece will officially default, nationalize their banks, and decide to go it their own way, or most of the opinion is that Greece will, their politicians will eventually agree to the demands of the European Central Bank, the EU, and Germany. And right now we don't know, but human nature would tell me is that the Greek government will finally agree to what the European Union is asking them to do. FOMC today, no changes in current policy, no increase in interest rates, or what the right now language will point to an interest rate increase in September or October, but it'll be couched in terms of when economic growth can sustain an interest rate increase. So right now we've had an automobile sector that's been strong and growing since 2009, and the housing sector, which is what the Fed has always wanted to kick in, is booming right now, but it's not single family homes, it's multi-family structures, apartments. It's for renters. So can point to strong housing numbers. It's not the type of housing they want, single family homes. And to buy a single family home, you have to have a job. You have to have a good job. And most of the jobs that are getting right now are temporary. They're retail sales. They're in the food and beverage, hotel segments of the economy. So they're not the jobs that are required to get you a single family home in most cases. So this in and of itself will tend to freeze the market and hold us in a trading range. I see buyers 17 to 21, might be as high as 25. Same situation we were in last night. So we'll play to buy in the cheap. With patience, it worked out yesterday. And then 9 to 13 for buy 2. On the sell side, I'd like to get it done against the buck, but the tendency is for the stock market to rally into the FOMC announcement, and that might be what takes this market lower. So we'll put a 27 to 31 sell on the note. Like to get it done closer to 126. And on the buy side, 21s are better. Okay, the knob spread came in a little last night, not a lot, but enough. And it's under pressure this morning as I write. Okay, last rotate down before the market rallied and took out resistance in this area. Stop was in the 151.06 area. So we've got pretty good buying down here. The market is pointed lower. 29 to 01 by 1. 17 to 21 by 2. On this, we have this X period high right here. We've got a W high at 17, so 14, so 15 to 19, sell 1, 27 to 31, sell 2. Okay, gold is still in a very, very tight range, so 75, 77 by 1. And 70, 72, so basically support 70 to 75 is pretty darn good. Hadn't been able to crack it. And we have trouble when we get above 85, so 84, 86, sell 1. 89, 91, sell 2. The gold market's not acting like Greece is going to leave the European Union. As painful as it is and might seem, the best thing that could happen to Greece would be to leave the European Union, but the fallout from that would be really catastrophic by the normal definition. But it'd be like Iceland. They could clear the decks and they could get back what they've lost. The euro rejecting 113 as we talked about yesterday, so sell 1 into 1 to 113, and sell 2 is going to be in the 25 area. Picking up this spill right there. On the buy side, 1250 plus or minus, then 1225. The FOMC meeting tends to freeze this contract too. But I don't think there will be any surprises in today's FOMC announcement. It'll be, we're going to raise interest rates probably in September or October if the economic conditions in the United States will allow us to do such. Okay, my crude rolled to the August contract. It was, the information I was bringing in was a full point higher. You can trade the July contract into Friday. There'll be, August will definitely be trading on Monday, so it's really kind of up to you if you want to keep the same numbers. But this one was trading $1.20 over the July contract. So looking at the F1 screen to maintain some perspective, 62 and higher is definitely a sell zone. Then we got 61.50. And then on the buy side, we've been trading up in this distribution, so we're at resistance right now. And bear in mind, this is the August contract, so I think we're going higher. 75 to 62, sell 1. 25 to 50, sell 2. Basically, we're going to try to get off a short around 62. The breakout came from 60.50. Last rotate down was 61.20, so 61, 61 and a quarter by 1. If we reject 62 and start down, I don't want to be a buyer at 61, 61 and a quarter, because resistance will have held and they're going to take the market lower. This high volume number at 75 ought to give us a little bit of protection, so buy 2 will be 60.50 to 60.75. Okay, the tendency for the E-mini is to rally into FOMC announcement, and we saw that yesterday. We came in yesterday with a pretty strong feeling that the Fed wouldn't allow the bottom to fall out of the market, and the market was pretty much straight up all day. And it did finish strong. So right now we got resistance 95 to the buck, and we probably have pretty good support in the 80-85 area. So I would look for a 2080 to 2100 market until the Fed speaks, and the tendency is to rally into the market, rally into the announcement. So 87-85 will be buy 1, and buy 2 will be 80 to 82. On the sell side, 94.96. 99.01 for sell 2. Today's news: crude inventories minus 1.6 million barrels, and FOMC. So really no news, just speculation about what the Fed is going to do. Let me get right down to it. Be back with you as soon as I can. Later.
Your line is now